Good afternoon, students. This is Professor Estrada with your Week 4 and Week 5 online lecture for the rest of the semester. I hope that these lecture videos have been helpful in navigating the course, in looking at deadlines, and all the things therein for the class. As always, I tend to record the lecture video a couple of days earlier, so that way if I do open up the online folder, so to speak, Saturday or Friday or even a Thursday before that Monday morning, this is just you being able to go in as an early courtesy. As always, the left side tab has the announcements, the recaps, the due dates, anything that's of importance right here. You're always welcome to go back and refer to these. I could always be reached at aestrada@hillcollege.edu. I do try to be daily, even speedily in replying. I do apologize if sometimes I don't get to you right away, but I do try to open them and reply to you in a timely manner. I'm going to go ahead and click on the content button. Now we know that the content button usually gets us to our content. And as always, I'm going to go ahead and open up the folder. When you see this, you won't be able to see the emoji. It's just whenever I open it up, it becomes accessible to you. So notice that week 4 has a part 1 and a part 2 folder. We're going to be looking at those as well as the week 5 folder. So that way you get it all at once. So we have in the week 4 folder, notice that when I clicked on it, it has a couple of things right here. In this week's folder, you'll have the video lecture that you're looking at right now, the lecture slides, the instructions for the argumentative essay, as well as a sample outline that you are more than welcome to use. You also have a discussion that kind of helps you look at the argumentative essay instructions, a weekly journal prompt number 6, extra credit opportunity number 2. This one gives you the chance to earn up to 8 points on your lowest major grade. Major grade considered is the unit of mechanics exam, the argumentative essay, or the final exam, either section. You also have the word count link right here. It's a great tool to help you define and count your words. Notice that the week 4 part 1 online folder content is due Sunday, July 5th. This also states that although the calendar or to-do list may state July 7th, that just means that my grading book closes on the 7th. So that way it gives me final grade calculations so that I can grade all essays coming in. So you won't get the extra 4 days. Instead, it's narrowed down to 2. It says right here that Essay 2 will be due no later than Monday, July 6th at 11:59 p.m. But also as an important notice, failure to not turn in on this day and time will result in an automatic 30 points off. Failure to not turn in by July 7th at 4 p.m. will result in a 0. This is an essay that will need to be turned in as an electronic copy within the week 5 folder. There's a module for you. You'll be uploading the essay on there. I will not accept email attachments or web links in exchange for this. An electronic copy in the Brightspace module will be needed so that you can receive a grade. The window for the final exam part 1 and part 2 will run Monday, June 29th through Sunday, July 5th. Obviously, if I open it up earlier, you'll have a couple of extra days. I will not reopen past that date. Ensure that you have a good internet connection. You'll be given 2 attempts with a time limit of 3 hours per each attempt. It covers the cumulative course content. It says that part 1 will cover parts of speech, parts of a sentence, and essay writing. Part 2 will cover reading comprehension. Both parts are 100% online. It also says right here that my grading book will close Tuesday, July 7th at 4 p.m. Final grades will be posted by Thursday, July 9th. Official grades, or as Hill College states, are due Friday, July 10th. So as earlier as these grades can be seen by you, you are more than welcome to do those. The last thing that's entered into the system are usually the final exams, part 1 and part 2. Essay number 2, which is the argumentative essay, and bonus points. Okay, so now we're going to be looking at the lecture slides so that way you can view them. We have the lecture slides right here for week 4, part 1. Reminder for the class, the content of week 1, part 1, as I've looked at it, the introduction to the argumentative essay. You begin to complete week 4, part 1 content and begin reviewing, revising, and drafting essay 2 as it's due July 6th. An important class reminder, An assignment can still be accepted without a late pass. Up to 4 days late, each day deducts 25 points off. It also says right here, if you're having trouble with accessibility or need additional help, feel free to reach out to me so that I can set a time to guide you and assist you. Remember, I'm here to help you succeed. And just as I've mentioned earlier, this is what is in the week 4 part 1 folder. It tells you its due date, as you can see. So now we're going to be introduced to the introduction of the argumentative essay. The argumentative essay has its own instructions. These are just lecture slides that will help you into understanding its concept. Okay, the argumentative essay. What is an argumentative essay? An argumentative essay takes a stand on an issue. In this type of essay or view, the writer, you, attempt to persuade readers to understand and support your point of view about a topic by stating and providing evidence. An argumentative essay states the thesis in the introduction, covers the thesis in the body, and provides a resolution or answer for the reader in the conclusion. This structure presents ideas in a logical and convincing manner. Here's some elements on how to make a good argument. Your thesis. It should be clear, argumentative, and cohesive. This structures the entire essay and projects what your perspective is towards the topic. You also have personal background. This describes the writer's motive in debating the issue. It explains why the issue is interesting or important to the writer. You also have historical background. To effectively communicate an argument, a writer should provide the audience with the context through resonating historical facts or underlying knowledge about the issue or topic. So there's going to be multiple choices. Only you can give your best interpretation of it. You also can consider common ground. There are points that are related to the issue on both sides to which I can agree, but you can also agree. We both can agree that the sky is blue, but sometimes we may disagree on what color blue the sky is. By identifying a common ground, this helps the writer and reader establish a connection. We also can look at definitions. Writers must define the technical term they use in the essay for the average reader to understand. If it is a word that only a few would know, simply break the word down and give its definition. This is a problem found in all the essays. We want to be fancy and type out a extensive word, and oftentimes it's not in our common everyday vocabulary, so we have a hard time using it in a sentence. Feel free to break down those words by use of definition. We also can look at the opposing thesis. A good writer knows when we should consider different point of views. Consider what others may think and be sure to point that out in the essay. We also can look at evidence as a way to help support our argumentative essay. We can look at real-life examples, stats, authorities, analogies, or hypothetical situations. The driving force in an argumentative essay is the position. Determine your stance and stay consistent. This means make a point to express your position or provide evidence all throughout, meaning that the question that you're going to be answering is if you agree or disagree with a statement. And that statement can be answered in the form of yes or no. So basically your body paragraphs are going to be saying, yes, I agree with the topic, or no, I disagree, and here are my points as stating why for either. Your evidence. Be sure to provide factual information to support your reason or claim. Consider this. If there is no proof, there is no evidence. So I'm exiting out of the lecture slides right now, and now we're going to go into the Essay 2 instructions. Okay, we have the Essay 2 instructions right here. I pulled up the PDF. You're more than welcome to look at it as it's visible to you. It says, for this assignment, you will write an argumentative, thesis-driven essay in which you justify or argue claims for the chosen topic. You will explore points and look at views that support your claim. After doing so, you as a student will be able to use definitive points in the writing process. The essay process in this assignment is to be able to show an arrangement of ideas and key points. The essay structure will present ideas in a logical and convincing manner. So here are a list of topics. You only are choosing one to write your essay over. And notice, there are a few really good ones. Okay? We have some right here. I'm only going to pick a few to read out loud, but you on your own look at these and divulge into the topics. We have a few of them just to kind of read them a few off. Should we hold parents legally responsible for their children's actions? Is getting a college degree worth the cost? Do paparazzi have the right to pursue or stalk celebrities? Should the government be allowed to regulate family size? Should athletes be allowed to use steroids? Do violent video games contribute to real-life violence? And many others to choose from. It says right here that your principal structures are to state your primary focus, to be able to give a fair representation of approaches, to be able to deliver a well-written argument that focuses on your viewpoints, but also others as well. It says the essay must cover the topic you're writing about. It must have a central idea and be organized. The purpose of this essay is to break down and analyze a central argument presented in the topic and then arrange those details. Go through revision and editing multiple drafts to produce writing that is mostly grammatically sound and error-free. To provide feedback to the writing of peers and reflect on it through the writing process. Here are the requirements for this essay. Times New Roman size 12, double-spaced, 1-inch margins on all sides, proper indented paragraphs. The essay must contain a title, be as creative or analytical as needed, not just essay 2 or argumentative essay. The essay length on this one should be at least 1.5 pages to 3.5 pages, double-spaced. No word count is specified or required. Make sure you have a proper heading on the left-hand corner. Your name, first and last, the course name and section, my name, and the date. It says, since the essay will be uploaded to the online course, it may need to be typed on Microsoft Word or Google Doc. Ensure that you have accessibility as well as that I'm able to view it or see it once it is submitted. Your audience for this essay is the readers of the classroom. You're being descriptive and giving them information about the said topic. You'll be completing the writing process as identified. Here's some helpful tips and advice. The first thing to do is read and study the topic. Based off your understanding, you must understand your position, so you are agreeing or disagreeing with the topic with yes or no statements. No, I agree. No, I disagree. Whichever way works, and you're listing those reasons why. Continue to be consistent in your point and not change it. Break apart points as to why you are for something or against it. Here are some important reminders. The essay number 2 is due on Monday, July 6th at 11:59. Failure to not turn in on this time will result in automatic 25 points off. Failure to not turn in by Tuesday, July 7th at 4 p.m. will result in a 0. I will not accept anything past Tuesday, July 7th at 4 p.m. as my grading book will close to finalize grade calculations. Do not wait until that time to turn in any work. My grading book will close on Tuesday, July 7th. Final grades will be posted by Thursday, July 9th if possible. Otherwise, grades are due Friday, July 10th. This is an essay that will be turned in to the Week 5 module. An electronic version will need to be submitted for me for you to receive a grade. Here's the criterion rubric for this essay. I'm going to be looking at selective details, argumentative context, focus, whether or not you have an introduction to conclusion, the structure and the mechanics, and here are the point system for that. And again, this is the PDF, and you're only having to pick one of these topics. Okay, so some people may say, well, that's great. Well, how can I put my thoughts in order for it? So I went ahead and created a sample outline for you. And this is your approach, is just a simple outline. You're more than welcome to use it or not use it, whichever works for you. But this just kind of helps a lot of people be able to structure their essay visually and kind of see where those places will go. It shows you what can be used in the introduction, what can be used in body paragraphs. Notice that they start giving you reasons if you are for or against something, body paragraphs, and additional body paragraphs in your conclusion. You are more than welcome to use this as is and put your own words into it, or be able to structure it another way. So that's just the sample outline. Okay. And then we have right here many of our other things that are found within the course. We have discussion board number 4. Oh, it has it right here. Okay. It says it's due July 5th. It has the extra days for you that are allowed. And it just says, much like the review and introduction of this week in the argumentative essay, this discussion board will require you to simply decide if you are for or against a topic. The individual steps are as follows. Below are a list of topics ranging from basic to advanced topics. I would like you to pick at least 4 of these and write them in a single post as to whether you are for them or against them. Then respond to 1 to 2 sentences on your own as to why you feel this way. An example is also shown below. Here are some topics. More than plenty to choose from. And here's an example of what a student response would look like. You're simply going to rewrite one of these topics. This one says, should parents be allowed to post pictures of their children on social media? And then follow with your own statement. Okay? And you're going to choose at least 4 topics to do the same format. You're going to rewrite the question and then your answer. It says your answer does not have to be descriptive or expansive. Simply respond based off of your opinion or understanding. And then it says right here, submit your post. Due to the nature of free speech and how a person may feel or oppose to others, I simply would like you to withhold from responding to others. This is a free space, and yet I do hope we understand that we're all different and unique. Where someone may be agreeable with the topic, others may not. This is a safe area, but I do understand some topics may cause a tendency for intervention, which is why simply post yours, and that's it. Okay? Sunday, July 5th is the due date. We know that we should be able to go in and create a post, and we can put it whatever title and whatever font, size, or color, as long as it's legible. Okay? We also have weekly journal prompt number 6. Weekly journal prompt number 6 is just that. It's just a journal prompt, creative prompt, if you will. And this one says to open the journal and create those couple of sentences for a closed journal. No need to reply to somebody else. And this one says prompt number 6, resurrecting an extinct animal or saving an endangered species. Given the choice with unlimited resources to science, technology, and money, which of the 2 options would you pick? If you were to resurrect an extinct animal, which one would you choose and why? If you were to attempt to save an endangered species, what species needs to be saved and why? Feel free to explore the idea with reason, points, or interest, or what intrigues you. Okay, and then there's the due date for it. No need to respond to other people. Okay. We also have the extra credit opportunity number 2. Extra credits are just that. They just enable you to receive more points based off of a category. This one says to create a new prompt or a text box within its sentence prompt and follow the topic. This one says, what are you grateful for? What has life brought you, awarded you, or made you aware of that you're now grateful for? For some, it could be a roof over your head. For others, it could be custody of children, car titles, or ownership of a business, or even be grateful for your health. Discuss one or few things that you are grateful for and why they hold meaning to you. Okay? It says the due date is July 5th at 11:59. Extra credit opportunities cannot be turned in late. This extra credit opportunity will allow you the chance to earn up to 8 points on your lowest major exam. Okay? I also included the word link in the week 4 part 1 folder. That just allows you to count your words in any discussion if you need it. We're now going to open up the week 4 part 2 folder. We have lecture slides. We have a couple of things also available right here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and open this up. Notice that this is the week 4 part 2. It says that there are lecture slides. We have a journal prompt number 7 titled This or That. We have the writing assessment, TSI Practicum. Complete quiz 5, complex comprehension. And notice that I already put the final exam part 1, final exam part 2 within this folder. It tells you the due date for week 4. It's due Sunday, July 5th. It gives you the 2 extra days by the time the grading book closes. It also tells you the due date for essay 2, just like week 4 part 1 listed. It also tells you the window for the final exam part 1 and part 2. They're available in the week 4 part 2 folder. Okay? And it tells you when the grading book will close. So let's dive into the week 4 part 2 lecture slides. the week 4, part 2 lecture slides. This is the to-do list for the week 4, part 2. We have the content, to begin the content and begin reviewing, revising, and editing Essay 2 as it is due July 6th. It says an important reminder, my office hours and or the late pass reminders and late work reminders. It says that an assignment can still be accepted late up until this point with 4 days and deduction of 25 points each day late. It says as we enter the last section of the class, it is important for you to ensure your success and acknowledgement of grades. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to reach out to me. Okay, this is in the online folder. The same exact things that I just discussed. Okay, so I exit out of that. I simply press the escape button, and so let's dive into the content for the week 4, part 2. We have weekly journal prompt number 7. This one says, open up the journal, complete a couple of sentences, and this is the prompt. This should say 7 right here, and this should say 7 right here. I'm so sorry about that. I'm just noticing that. Okay, it says, given the choice, pick an option from each category and write them below. No reason or explanation. You can simply copy and paste with just each category and the option chosen, or you can just list however you would like for the options given. So you have snacks. Would you rather have sweet or salty? Pick one. Clock. Are you an early bird or night owl? Pick one of those. And all you're doing is just telling me this or that. You don't have to explain them. And they go all the way down to having more time or have more energy. So different categories, but I want you to pick one option between each. And whenever you list your post or create it, you are more than welcome to create it as its own prompt number, 6 or 7, whatever it corresponds to. And the content you can use in whatever size, color, or font. Okay, we also have within this folder a writing assessment. This writing assessment, let me click on it this way. Okay, all right, it's got it right here. It says this is a collection of reading comprehension and reading short stories. It is formatted as a Word document in PDF. You will need to download either one and redesign it as your own answers, just as you've done with the reading assessment. You're going to download and recreate your own answers and submit it back. If you have technical issues in doing that, feel free to let me know. So this is the doc and this is the PDF. I'm going to go ahead and open up one of them so that way you see what it looks like. So notice that it looks like this. It says you will need to download either version, the doc or the PDF, and recreate with your own copies of your answers and then resubmit it. This one has reading passages. It's got the numbered questions on there. Reading passage number 2, and it's got its questions on there. So you can just recreate your own copy with the answers, or you can just list the answers on doc. And then you're going to have to resubmit it. At any point, if you have questions over that, let me know. We also have quiz 5, complex comprehension. Read the questions below. This is an assessment of words and their meanings. They may cover homophones, homonyms, word placements, and spelling. Take your time to answer to the best of your ability. You'll be given a time limit of 1 hour and 30 minutes for each attempt. You'll be given 2 attempts to complete. Okay, and then it's due Sunday, July 5th. The to-do list will normally say 2 extra days. That's just the 2 extra days given. And then notice that we have the final exam part 1 that's listed right here. I clicked on it and it'll take you to your final exam. It says your final exam part 1 is listed. You'll be given 2 chances. Each attempt will afford you 1 hour and 80 minutes. That way you're more than able to complete this. This is a cumulative exam. Okay. All right. We also have final exam part 2. Okay, part 2. This is your final exam part 2. A reading comprehension from the entire semester. Read each question, do your best. You're given 2 chances with at least 180 minutes, 3 hours to complete. Okay, we also have week 5. Now, week 5 only has 2 things in the week 5 folder, but because I'm completing this early, you are more than welcome to do so. It says this is where you're going to upload essay 2, the argumentative essay. read the instructions for it. It also says that you're going to be completing the extra credit opportunity number 3, a chance to earn up to 9 points on your lowest major grade, the argumentative essay, the final exam, part 1 and part 2. The extra credit is not due until Tuesday, July 7th. I just noticed that spelling error right there. And then it says the due date for the argumentative essay is Monday. See, I'm just noticing little things here and there. And then it just tells you all the things that have been in the week 4 folder. And then the window for the final exam, the grading book. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and show you what that looks like. It tells you that you are submitting your essay 2 right here, so that way you see it. This is where you'll submit your argumentative essay number 2. Ensure that it is accessible to me, so that way I'm able to grade it. If I cannot see it or view it, I cannot grade it. It has to be submitted through here. If you have any technical difficulties, feel free to reach out to me so that we can see what else we can do if you are having trouble submitting it here. It also tells you its due date. We also have extra credit opportunity right here. Look at that one, number 3. Extra credit opportunity number 3. It says to create a new document as the prompt allows or the text box. And that it says, in 7 to 10 sentences, answer in the following thing. What are some positive factors that you've learned while being in a college class? What are some negative setbacks that you've experienced or recognized? In a reflection piece, discuss what you could have done to prepare yourself or what you're wanting to do. And if this is your first time attempting an online class, what are some things that could help you in the future? If you've taken other online college classes, what are some helpful advice that you could give as the week progresses? It is due July 7th at 4 p.m. So extra credit opportunity number 3 is due a couple of days. I think it is due when the grading book closes. And extra credit opportunities cannot be turned in late. Okay? And as always, it has been a pleasure to teach you. I hope that you've enjoyed this class as much as I've enjoyed teaching it. At any point, whenever these folders become active, if you ever have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'll be going back in and changing those little typos that I've noticed here and along the way. I can be reached at aestrada@hillcollege.edu.